Hello guys! Now we're gonna get rolling with this. As fast as I know that the stream is working correctly. We'll also try to make sure that we're not having any echo, because that would be bad. Hope everyone's doing okay this fine day. And to the people of YouTube, I hope you are doing quite alright as well. Yes, the stream seems to be working correctly. Let's go. Now, for those remembering where we left off, we're trying to convince a very stubborn noble woman to do what we want. I suspect the no, well, I'll continue with the summer. We're trying to convince a noble woman to do what we want, but we don't have enough experience to do that quite yet, or learning points, whatever it's called in this game. So we're gonna have to go on some other adventures, do some other things, just to get that up, because we really don't want to disappoint the commercium. We did that once already, and it wasn't fun. And I think the reason you might have problem with echo, Morador, is if you're listening to your stream in the background, it might do that. Any case, we're going to the Merchant Plaza. I'm gonna look around there, because that's where the Mad Mage's tower was. And while I'm not very fond of like going to speak with a Mad Mage, why wouldn't we? Exotic Emporium Trader. Looking for something special, code sword, spike pauldrons, that sort of thing? Look no further, for you're standing in what one day will be known as Exotic Emporium. Do you have anything special? Every item you see here is special, chosen with care and deliberation, says the trader, raising his eyebrow at the ignorance he's just witnessed. Then again, some of my customers expect only the best, and are willing to pay a hefty premium for quality that can't be described as anything other than exceptional. He pulls out a richly decorated axe and shoves it in your face. That sounds immensely uncomfortable, inviting you to admire the craftsmanship up close. It's the finest weapon ever created. You can spend the rest of your life looking for a finer axe and you'll not find it. Yes, it's steel, but don't turn away so quickly. It's the purest steel, tempered to perfection in the rarest oils. It's a warrior's weapon, made to wreak havoc with every swing of the blade. Ah, can't be bothered. No, I can't afford it. I don't want it. I want to know what you have in general, though. Just for funsies. Oh, he only has, like, warrior stuff. Can't be bothered with that. I keep looking at the map, not realizing that it's not going to tell me anything. The Courier Trader. We're gonna talk with him, but this seems like a tower. So maybe it has a Mad Mage in it. Well, there's some steps here, so let's go upstairs. Rather empty here as well. Maybe he is even more upstairs. That's a person. Abuka, the Mad Mage. Hello. You see a bald, bearded man fiddling with an old telescope, bearing signs of crude repair. You want me to do a shot of wasting your time, says the man, his accent thick and heavy. What shot? I'm a stargazer, says the man impatiently, as if it should have been obvious. But I don't do shots anymore, so don't ask. Now what do you want? I need a lore master. I need a hammer. I that as well. Surely you've heard about Abuka, so tell me what you need and go away. Have a few items I want you to look at. Show him the map. Temple of Thoragoth, says Abakir, barely glancing at the map. It's a fool's errand. Even if the temple somehow survived the war, it's probably sealed by now. House Aurelian takes such matters very seriously, so if you're seeking the temple, talk to Lord Galeus first. What do you know of him? Torgathoth, that is. He wasn't of this world, none of them were. They were brought here and given life, which was the greatest folly of man. Be thankful that they are gone, but remain vigilant and stand ready to delay their return, for we are not what we once were and will be all but helpless against them. Have another item? I can show in the map again. Maybe later. What is this thing? A telescopium, a wonder of wonders. Through it I observe stars and their movements, although it's not the stars but the void between them that captures my attention now. Why? I'll learn that the void is anything but empty. The darkness hides it well, but nothing can stay hidden forever. There are those who dwell in the void, and I've taken it to myself to watch them. Have you seen any yet? Oh, not, but the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. They are there somewhere. I know that now. What makes you think that? What makes me think that? The wisdom of the ancients, contained in the scrolls I found in the ruins of the Library of Saros. Oh, the truth they revealed. I burned the scrolls, but I can't burn the words imprinted in my mind. The reason I watch the void now. The Library of Saros. Where is it? There's nothing there, says Abrukar. If you want to gaze upon the ruins of the greatest library in the world, I won't stop you. Let me mark it on your map. Did you seek at the library? Knowledge. What else? I was trying to solve a problem, and I hoped that the great Library of Saros might shed some light on it. I was mistaken. What kind of problem? I was working on a device to detect energy fluctuations. It could detect random deviation with 80% accuracy, but couldn't handle larger and more frequent fluctuations. Obviously I miscalculated somewhere, but the nature of the old world's magic is hardly well-explored field these days. One has no choice but to make assumptions, which leads to setbacks and disappointments. Thought that magic was gone from the world. Then you thought wrong. The Magi are gone, but the magic they unleashed is still here, lurking in our own backyard. He's very fond of backyard. Waiting for the right moment to strike. How do you fight that which you can't see? How do you stop that which has been prophesied to come? Our own backyard? You mean the Abyss? What else? We've accepted the Abyss and learned to stay away from it. We speak of magic that haunts it without any understanding of what it is and why it's still there, centuries later. Yet any force that affects the physical world can be detected and measured, even if it's invisible to the naked eye. The device, you still have it. It's not for sale. Everything is for sale for the right price. A man of the world, are you? Says Abukar with disdain. You want my device? Then bring me one of equal value. So you wanted to explore the Abyss? Yes, but not the way fools do it, with sheep, mystical shards and divine rods. The dangerous spots have abnormal energy spike, so all you need to do is construct a device that can read them. Easier said than done, of course, but the paths are worth traveling are never easy. No, I don't have any items I wanted to look at. So we need to find him something valuable, and he'll give us something for the Abyss. Maybe we'll find that in the library, because I want to go there. Not quite yet, though. That seems like something I want at least one more point in lore, if not more, to do. Well, as you know, we're busy investing our... oh no, there was a curio shopper here. Let's talk to the curio trader. I won't bother reading up everything the trader says. Small golden device. It's an astrolabus, says the trader, whispering the name carefully as if afraid of overhearing. Everything else I'll sell. The quality is detachable, but this. The little amulet rises with the power of the sun. I hope. Sword nor arrow shall touch me. I don't want it. Maybe we'll come back and buy it later, but at the moment I don't want it. We have quite a few things to sell, I just noticed. What's an order trader? Hello. Have anything special? How much for the armor? I can't afford it. I don't want armor. I have told you this time and time again. I don't want warrior things. There's a house here. There's a sign next to it. So of course we're going to... Whoa! Something happened. Welcome to Nasir's Carpet Diem. Seize the day and buy yourself the nicest wool carpet money can, starts the shopkeeper, and stops abruptly, realizing that you aren't in the market for rugs. Say friend, says the man. My accent on this guy is incredibly racist, says the man, changing his tone. How would you like to make 1,000 imperials? Keep talking. It's a simple tale. I wish to buy a gem. It is a rare yellow sapphire, cut to perfection. Unfortunately, Sylvanus is not a reasonable man. I have offered 1,000 imperials, yet he still refuses to sell, making a fool out of me. Not very neighborly of him, is it? He used to live next door and sell spices. Then he made some powerful friends and bought a house in the palace district right next to the palace. The nerve, eh? So here is the deal. Bring me the stone and I'll pay you 1,000 imperials. I don't care how you acquired it. That's between you and Sylvanus. Well, I'll take a look. Why not? That's a quest. By the way, Morador, if you're still in the channel, you said the other day that my sound were acting oddly. Can you hear me more clearly today? What's this? No one's here. It's an empty house. Oh, this place is open. So, go in. It's a blacksmith. Well, we just quickly go through what he has to say. I'm happy to hear Mordor. Happy to hear. So, clearly my sound is working better today, which is an upside. Here, you can have that. I know it's like something I promised to give back to someone, but I can't, because I sold it. An old temple. That sounds like the place I want to go. I'm a holy man after all. Worship of the female body. That's worthy of worship, I suppose. The game trades that I'm a manipulator, which I think is incredibly harsh. This is the Assassin's Guild, is it? Yeah, both men of sticks. Do they have anything interesting to say? I just came from Terran looking for the Guildmaster. What's your name? Savarius. I've heard a lot of news from Terran lately. It seems like someone is stirring things up over there. Well, welcome to Madaran, I guess. If you're looking for Darissa, she's inside. So what can you tell me about her? What's there to tell? If you're looking for work, there's no one better to work for. Well, I don't really want to work for the Assassin's Guild. But, I mean, maybe it doesn't hurt to like / make friends. What does she have to say? It's rumored that Darista, the guildmaster of Madoran's assassins, was once beautiful, that even shared Galia's bed once or twice. Nowadays her beauty is well hidden behind several scars, a broken nose and a mercenary tattoo on her cheek, marks of the various campaigns she's fought in. Darista isn't the first female guildmaster, but she's the first to make assassinations a preferred choice for solving disputes and conflict. The result, business in the Madoran's guild is booming, with the number of satisfied customers growing daily. I don't think she is particularly not beautiful looking at the picture. Greet her. What do you need? Nothing right now. Okay. That was a good waste of our time. Why is this shining? Okay. It's just shining for presumably little to no reason. A house. We'll go look on a house. Okay. They're busy. I could go in here. A healer. Another time. Sorry if the stream is not particularly interesting right now. I'm just wanting to have a proper look at things. Oh no, wait, I don't want to go to the arena district. We have a thing to do in the palace district now. You know. No, we're not going to Lorenza's. We're going to somewhere close to the palace, right? That door is locked. Someone who lived next to the palace. So it's one of these two houses, right? Either this one. Okay, apparently I have to steal that thing, which I'll not be able to do. So I suppose we're not doing that then. Well, we're going back to the arena district then, because I said we need to fetch experience. Which means we'll need to walk around talking with people. Because if we don't do that, then how will we get to know? We've already tried talking to Quintus, so there's no point in doing that. That's where Domitius lived. This is a house. Nothing there. Is there any way to highlight objects in this game, actually? Can we see? Options... no control options, so I don't know. Someone in the chat knows how to highlight objects? Do tell. But... Oop! Something happened. As you walk down the street, you hear shouts and see an angry crowd pursuing several men. They chase them into a nearby house and start discussing the best way to smoke them out. A lone guard shows up and tries to calm the tension, but without visible success. Well, let's approach. "Burn them!" yells a red-faced, burly man in a dirty tunic, pointing at the house. The crowd seems to share his animosity towards the house inhabitants. "Nobody burning anything in my district," says the guard weakly. "Nobody's burning anything in my district." He tries to infuse his word with authority, but he isn't eager to risk his life to restore order, which only emboldens the crowd. What's going on? "It's the Nutters," sighs the guard. "Now they've got some numbers behind them. Things are starting to get out of control. Earlier they went through the district, shouting, pushing over carts and pissing people off. There was a fight. 3 dead, a dozen wounded. The preacher and his cronies hold in there." He nods at the house. "Ooh, we want to save them because we want to be even holier. And now these idiots want to burn it down and half the district with it. The Nutters? The mouth breakers who followed these preachers around, eating up every word and asking for more. We didn't see it coming when it started. These preachers were talking crazy, but nobody listened. So what's the harm, right? And then something's changed. Suddenly they were drawing crowds. People were repeating their shit like it meant something. And now we have bloody riots in the middle of the day." "What preachers?" "Ever since Miru went nuts and started talking about gods, some people took it upon themselves to spread his teachings and bring the fucking light to our darkness. Now, as far as I know, the preachers never said a word about attacking the unbelievers, but maybe they didn't have to. Make a man feel righteous, and there is no telling how far he'll go." "What do they preach?" "The usual shit. The godless will be punished, the righteous will be saved." "Need any help?" "Can you keep the crowd in check while I go and get some more men to handle this properly?" "Sure." The guards leave you in charge and quickly walk away. The crowd gets its hopes up and moves a few steps closer. "That preacher ain't going nowhere," says the burly man. "We had enough of his shit." Lore success and persuasion. The preacher will be dealt with in accordance with the laws of House Aurelian. Any attempt to rob our lord of his right to dispense punishment will be considered a grave insult punishable by removal of the offender's right arm. Yeah, we want to save the preacher inside, so let's go for 2. Success. Alright, says the bully man, spitting and narrowly missing your feet. Have it your way, but whoever catch this fucker in our neighborhood is ours. Wait for the crowd to leave and go inside the house. You see a man with a thin face, a narrow aquiline nose and fire in his eyes. This must be the preacher. Behind him stands 2 men, roughed up and blooded. Who are you? Asked the preacher. Because I'm the chosen one, I can say. I had a vision today. Saw this house burn to the ground. I saw the faithful weeping over your charred body. I saw the wicked rejoicing and the darkness growing. The preacher nods, still in shock after the ordeal. The images conjured by your words mirror his fears, making it easy to accept your claim without questioning it. I'm becoming a prophet, this is awesome. A man, his face glowing with inner light and beauty, appeared next to me, looking at the carnage with anger. This shall not come to pass, he told me. There will be light in the darkness, and you shall be my torchbearer. A torchbearer? Asked the preacher in awe. I came here as fast as I could, guided by the divine will. As the wicked fell on me, I shouted at them to stop, and somehow my voice became a thunderous roar, throwing the wicked back. You shall not pass! I shouted, and the earth shook and trembled. An immense chasm opened and swallowed the wicked to the last man. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I would not believe such a thing was possible. They are dead? Asked the preacher in disbelief. All of them? The gods truly worked a miracle through you then. They've chosen you for a reason. They have. Only a fool or a blasphemer would deny that now. Return to Ganesa. Tell them that the will of the gods is about to be worked upon Madoran. Tell them to stand ready to render assistance. The gods have other tasks for me here. Tell them I will bring word when the time is right. Go now! The preacher bows and walks out, taking his followers with him. Morehouse crashes reputation. Truly, I hath been chosen. So, I got a few more skill points. I only need 2 more now, then we can increase trading. But I am the chosen one, and I think that counts for slightly more. Let's see. House Crassus is up on 9 now. They're fairly fond of me. The Commercium is on 12 and House Steraton is on 18. We don't care about House Steraton that much. Okay. Game saved. There's a youth over there. Let's say hello. See a slightly awkward light-haired youth, scarcely out of his teens. I couldn't help but notice that you're heading for the slums, says the youth in a somewhat shy manner. I was wondering if you can do me a favor, in exchange for reasonable remuneration, of course, he adds quickly, trying to sound businesslike. Remuneration. This is a very fancy youth. What's the favor? I entered into a business arrangement with a certain individual who goes by the name of Neros. Wait, isn't that the thieves guy from Act 1? I wanna speak with Neros. He fucking owes me. He asked me to procure certain goods and deliver them to him. Yet now that I'm about to do it, I find myself torn by doubts and fears. Such as? I must confess that I've never been to the slums and find the task to be more intimidating than what I originally envisioned. They say that it's a lawless place where a man's life is worth nothing. Not to mention that I can't help but wonder if Neros is going to pay me what he promised. After all, what stops him from cutting my throat? He touches his throat uncomfortably and taking the goods for nothing. So where do I come in? You just seem to have a certain air about you. I don't think that Neros would dare playing games with you. He promised to pay me 3,000 Imperials. I'd be willing to part with 500 if you will deliver the patches and collect the money. Trading. We split 50-50 since it looked like I'll be doing all the work here. This is highway robbery, protest the youth, but I suppose I don't have any choice, do I? What's in the package? Black powder, sulfur, saltpeter, a thing. What? So a bomb? Why does Neros need these things? I don't see how it's any of my business, or yours for that matter. Can't Neros buy these things? Not if he wants quality, says the youth, smiling heartily. I doubt that Lord Gellius, an alchemist, would take commissions from the like of Neros. Yet a young lordling is eager to do it for him. The youth's face turned red. I'll have somewhat of money in a game of chance. It was rigged, of course, so I refused to pay. The proprietor sold my debt to Neros. Alright, I'll do it. Why not? His house is somewhere around the old temple. He told me it's easy to find. Yeah, for that amount of money, of course I'll do it. That give me any skill points? No. Show kindness to an old veteran. Show kindness to a veteran, good master. Barks a scowling beggar when you come too close. A coin or two is all I ask. Come on, we both know you can afford it. Yeah, give him 5 Imperials. Much obliged, says the beggar, offering a practiced military salute. Are you really a veteran? And Titus' finest, says the man with a bitter smile. Yeah, wrong side, I know, but it's hard to tell them apart beforehand. Every lord makes it sound like his cause is righteous and his side is going to come over the winner. But in the end, it always comes to the roll of the dice. How did you end up here? It's a long story. You sure you have time for it? Sure, I'd like to hear it. Alright, so, yeah, I served in Titus, but it was more than a job for me. I took the oath and meant every word. God's help me. I didn't believe any of the Titus the last emperor bullshit that the court poet always went on about. For me, what mattered was that Titus actually gave a shit. I worked for the Commercium years before, so I knew how rich bastards can treat you, but Titus was different. He'd actually spent time with his men. He said the prophecy wasn't just about him, that we were all part of it, and that the words themselves were just empty blather without good men to back them up and follow his lead. We were the foundation upon which the house was built, he said. Fine words, though I know it must sound like so much horseshit coming from me. Keep listening. Things were really gearing up by the time I joined. His father had left him the throne less than a year prior, you see. So Titus was chomping at the bit to get things rolling, considering how cautious and miserly his father had been. He spent a lot of gold on payroll so his recruiters could compete with Imperial Guards, and began outfitting his men in armor of the grand old Imperial style. Pretty soon the common folk took House Daraton for the real descendant of the Empire, while the so-called Imperial Guard took the role of a shameful pretender staffed by ill-armored lepers. The ranks began to swell, and in a little over half a year Titus was ready to stake his claim. Keep listening. Luck favored Titus. The Order had begun a huge push to the south, and Gallius had to bleed his own legions to beef up the guards to the north. Gallius knew it would risk legitimacy of the charter if he did nothing but spend his time with some Bactrian belly dancer, while the guards died defending his backyard from the greatest threat since the Quantari, so he didn't have much choice in the matter. The whole mess took Gallius' carefully arranged game board and threw it into the abyss. Then Titus was poised to exploit the situation. He sent his uncle to Ganesser to sell Merion a joint attack against Gallius. He gave him 100 soldiers, and guess who was in charge of that entourage? Yours truly. Mary's mind was soft like clay, easy to mold, and the deal was struck within a week. Soon after, we were ready to march to war. With Gallius fighting a war on 3 sides, the Daraton front had become his soft underbelly. This was still a Rulian though, and Daraton was still the weakest house, so there was no certain outcome. Nonetheless, Titus belted Gallius with everything he had. I don't know whether tactics or numbers won that first battle, but we absolutely bled those bastards. House Steraton had accomplished a decisive victory, the first in decades. But all Antidus did was salute his men and walk the battlefield as calmly as if he were enjoying a stroll in the garden. He wanted it to seem as though this was all a matter of course. It must have taken a godly effort to hold in the pride he felt, and as for us, hell, we didn't even bother trying. What happened then? Well, it all went to shit, of course, but you already know that, don't you? Things went well enough during the first month after the initial attack. Aurelian withdrew, Daratan advanced. Then one day we got word from the northeast that Meru had suddenly withdrawn his troops from the field. They hadn't been routed, they just completely ditched the war, and Titus didn't know what to think. Had Meru been bribed by Gallius? Had he lost his nerve? It turns out Meru hadn't lost his nerve, just his whole fucking mind. So what say about that about my future employer? I brought Antidus' uncle to Ganessar again, and he didn't even greet us when we walked into his court, but instead began a crazy oration. It was like we were listening to a total different man. He spoke of gods, he spoke of revelation, he spoke of the people, and he ultimately just spewed out a mess of the most impassioned insanity I've ever heard. At first we hoped it was nothing but an act to cover Meru's real doubts about the war, and so the uncle stayed into the night to discuss it with him further. When he finally came out of the palace, his skin white as gypsum. I tried to fish out some of the details, but he the only thing he said was, I think that's a small typo. Gods help us. He actually believed every word. It's all over. And so it was. Just like that. It was a turning point, making the end of Antidus' good fortune. The Imperial Guard ambushed and decimated the Order, and suddenly Gallius was free to give Antidus the attention he deserved. Of course, we didn't see it this way back then, as Antidus had us convinced that the prophecy was coming true and nothing could stop him. Except Gallius' legions, of course, laughed the beggar, the laugh turning into a violent cough that stops him a moment. Virus, he says finally as his name still invokes pain. It was a disaster. Complete and utter fucking disaster. If Antidus didn't run, he would have lost everything there. When we got back to Terran, he practically barricaded himself in his compound, and that was the last I saw of him. No more speeches, no more heart-to-heart, no more talks about prophecies. So how did you end up here? Tell the truth, I couldn't stomach staying in Terran, pretending like nothing's happened. Don't know how Antidus could handle it. Maybe he's just tougher bastard than I thought. For a while we thought that he was just laying low, biding his time and waiting for the right opportunity. Turned out there was no opportunity. He sent an expedition to look for some temple in the wasteland as if that was his main concern and nothing else mattered. Of course, his luck being what it is, he lost most men and sent on that fool Saren didn't find any temple. Between you and me, I wouldn't be surprised if it exists only in his addled mind. I left shortly after, though I'd come to see Madoran, see the city that so many men died for. You know what, I don't think it was worth it. Anyway, my throat's getting dry, so it's time to go and water it. Take care of yourself, stranger. Well, it was nice to hear him give some information. Let's see, do we have anyone else to speak with? We have these guys down here, but we don't want to go there. To be completely honest. They kinda screwed us over last time. We're going to the slums. You arrive at the infamous Madoran slums, greeted only by an oppressive silence settling around you. Filth-clad figures pay you little notice as they pass through refuse piled against the dilapidated buildings, yet you can feel hostile eyes watching you from the shadows. You're keenly aware that even the guard have long since chalked this place up as a loss. Their patrol routes avoid the squalized maze of collapsed buildings and makeshift shelters. The only authority in here is the Thieves' Guild. You can just make out their headquarters in the distance, the shattered dome of the High Temple, an everlasting mockery that serves as a reminder of this district's fall from its former grandeur. You must be lost, says a man in his 50s, looking at you with interest. People who don't belong here don't come often, so they always stand out. I'm Leon. It's been more than 20 years since I ended up in the slums. I thought I wouldn't last a day, yet here I am. What do you want? An honest pay for an honest day's work, no more no less. You've heard about the slums, yes? It's not for the faint-hearted. So what you need is a local guide to keep the riffraff away from you. And you away from the riffraff. It's almost like 2 jobs in one. But I'll ask only for 100 coins, if you can spare it. I don't trust him. I have been hurt before. No thanks. I'm good. That's not... Seems like a lot of people. Thief, Herman, thief. Maybe they have something interesting to say. Where's the temple at? Is this... Temple. Show me. Is this a temple? That's a fountain. And there we have someone called Mayrab. I'm not exactly sure where to go. Which of these buildings is the temple? Well, we'll start by going north. And try to be careful. A dirty-looking man pops out of nowhere, blocking your way. Well, 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 says the man, almost too fast to understand. What do we have here? A new arrival? Nah, too clean for that. A lost sheep that strayed away from the shepherd? That's more like it, ain't it? Glancing around, you see more figures crawling out of the ruins to join his game. Though I was here all myself, did you? Says the man, grinning proudly. Think again. I'm impersonating the guild, if anyone wondered what I just did. Sorry for not reading that. The man suddenly punched pale and starts mumbling something, tears running down his face. Suddenly he pulls out a knife and starts cutting off one of his fingers, wrenching in pain. You notice that he has only 4 fingers on his left hand, so it's not his first run-in with the guild. I'm sure that Neros is perfectly fine with me impersonating the guild, considering that he has been impersonating me. So, fair does it, right? So, I want to say hello to these guys just to see what happens. You see a small trading plaza up ahead. Rough-looking men are patrolling the area, collecting the revenues regularly and harassing random passerbys. Approach. Why not? Let's see what happens. Haven't seen you here before, says a large, sweaty man who seems to be in charge here. Who might you be? I'm just passing through. Well, you're passing through my area like you own it. You didn't ask permission to enter, did you? Now we have a problem. All because of your ignorance of our customs. What are you going to do about it? I'll pay 1,000 Imperials just for passing through. I don't have the money. Okay. No, we're not fighting. Okay, we're not going there. That's a trap if I ever saw one. So, not going there. The more you know. Doesn't seem like Nero's is holed up in there anyway. So, not going that way. We're going up this way. Oh, we can't do that? Oh, we have to pass through there? Is that it? That's annoying. Well, maybe we can get someone to kill them. Since we're not doing that ourselves. Since we're nice people, we don't kill, we get people killed. That's a dwelling. You can go in here. Is there anyone? There's no one there. It's a well and a dirty looking local. Hey you, come here. Sure, why not? What could go wrong? The man's eyes light up with hope. Wanna make some easy money? I found something that nobody else did, but I can't do it alone, he says quickly as if afraid that you'll reconsider. It's the real deal, I swear. Well, you sound trustworthy. Easy money is my specialty, friend. Down there, says the man, pointing at the well. It's deep, deeper than you think. Dive deep enough and you'll find a passage. It's not long, about 50 yards. If you can hold your breath long enough, you'll reach a chamber filled with treasure. How do you know that? We'll split it 50-50. So what do you say? Can you be sure of that? We saw a bazaar knifing someone the other night. The man fell right in, so we figured that maybe, you know, he had something valuable on him. So me and Sto right in, but didn't find the body. Instead he found the passage I told you about. So where is he now? He didn't make it back, says the man, avoiding eye contact. He took a bag to haul back all the loot, though again, and that the last time I saw him. Lucky for you, eh? Get his share just for showing up. So, ready to dive. No. No. Besides, with... I suspect that might be best on Constitution. I have Constitution 4. So, no. No. I'm not ready to dive, actually. How do we get over there? Oh, we can pass through the house. See a large group of armed men up ahead. Their attention is focused on the roasting meat, but their demeanor suggests that they're more than culinary enthusiasts. Approach. As you come closer, a man steps out to greet you. Welcome to my humble abode, says the man with a smile. I'm Mirab, called the Blade Master. And these fierce warriors are Mirab's blades. Want to see the abyss? Yes, it's a place of wonder and beauty. You'll love it, I can already tell. Pay the fee and you'll be on your way. How much? A man of business who knows that everything has a value, eh? I like that. I'll give you a special price, just for you. 200 Imperials, see the wonder of wonders. Consider what you're getting, it's practically free. And you know why? Because Mayrab is not a greedy man. Live and let live, I say. Ah, sure. You can have the money. Bless your heart, friend. Your kindness to those less fortunate won't be forgotten. I mean, I have a ton of gems. Just like a ton. You see? It's a ton of gems. So, if I want money, I can make money. Besides, he seems like a friendly fellow. Maybe I can use him to kill those other guys later. Yeah, let's go to the abyss. What could go wrong? This gate leads to the abyss. You can go to the abyss. Loading screen because I've never been there before. Now we have enough experience to put in trading, so we're going back to that lady afterwards. You have arrived at a giant crater known as the Abyss. At least 2 miles across. It is flanked by the ruins of the ancient city, the walls standing like crumbling sentinels over the pit. A restless grey fog cloaks the bottom of the defile, effectively concealing the horrors which undoubtedly lie within. You aren't alone. As you approach, you see the usual crowd gathered. Places of destruction and mystery always attract tourists, and with them the soothsayers and hawkers who make a living selling whatever they desire, from old world trinkets, got up like artifacts to curses purporting to channel the dark energies of the abyss. To that ever popular standby, kebabs. The raucous cries you associate with bartering are, however, usually subdued and flat, like those of a group of children playing at the edge of a graveyard, each attempting to convince his neighbor, and more so himself, of his bravery. Explore the area. Again, what could go wrong, but we're saving here. Abyss. So, let's see, where do I want to go? I suspect that this here is the abyss. Now, I heard a rumor that to go into the abyss I really want a gas mask. Is there such a thing to be gotten? Go inside the abyss. Venture into the abyss? No. As I said, I heard that rumor about gas masks, so we won't do that. Why is the map not oh, I can't open the map over here. That explains it. Okay, go back to Maduran then. Return to the slums. I thought maybe someone would be available over there and sell me a gas mask. But nope. We will come back later. Now we're going to return to the noble lady. Because maybe she wants to talk with me now that I have 6 in trading. We're doing a safety save before spending the skill point. Trading. Proficient. You'll learn the tricks of turning 1 gold piece into 2. A subtle and powerful magic. Thank you. I am learning. Now, which ones were her house? That's Senna's, so that's Lorenza's. Etiquette, thanks you for receiving me. If you're wanting to know what she actually says, you can watch my YouTube videos, because I've read all this before. No, but I think I did something wrong that time because she seemed rather angry with me. So, let's try that again. I accidentally said that I'm not alone. I have the guild backing me and she seemed to get quite uppity with me for saying that. Which is not what I said last time either, by the way. So, let's retry that. Hello. And I had spent my skill point? Yes, I had. Because it's the quick save I took after the spending of the skill points. failure. Okay, and if I agree to your word, then you'll have my support, of course. Help me get what I want and see yourself rewarded beyond your wildest dreams. So do I have your word? I can't go against the guild. Huh. Is 12 really not enough? Like 6 in persuasion and 6 in trading. This might not be very interesting because I'm going to go through a few different dialogue options with her just to see where it takes me. Just to see if maybe I can get that worked through anyway. Because I feel like this should be enough. So I'm incredibly sorry if you feel like I'm wasting time, but hey. What needs be, needs be. Etiquette, does the word travel that far? Lore success. How delightfully bold. I stand to lose my life, well at least your honest is refreshing quality in the city that does cast some doubts on your usefulness. Support is very useful for us. They say, but what will I be getting out of this? My city, are you going to return it to its rightful owners? Do you really expect me to? I expect nothing and everything at the same time, but enough about me. What do you expect? What do you want to get out of it? Make a name for myself. The satisfaction of a job well done. Not the end of dead would be a good start. The satisfaction of a job well done. What happens? Is that all that moves you? I'm stressed. I didn't take you for a slave. I'd love to stay and chat. Failure. Okay. Redoing. I'm really just trying to see if I can get a positive response to most of the things that I'm saying. Again, because I think that might make this work. In any case, I really like this sort of game. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about most RPGs not really giving you the option of going through it non-lethal and sort of non-combat. I mean, what I'm doing is kind of lethal. Well, at least you're honest, it's refreshing quality. Just cause some doubt on my usefulness. Your support is very important to us, I dare say it is. Not haggle with the low one, she didn't like that. She really didn't like what I've been saying right now. Well, she really seemed unhappy with that, so no. I mean, I'm not sure what else there is that I'll have the chance to do to get some experience. I suppose we could visit that library that Abukar told us about. I'll give talking to her one other attempt, and then I'll try to go to the library and see if I can net myself some experience there. Maybe increase my law instead of trading, though then I'm sort of spending skill points that I need. But we will see. Does word travel that fast? Only one way to find out. Again, I don't think she really likes this option, but I think she likes this one even less. So yeah, we're going with that. Your support is very useful to us. do you really expect me to? I expect nothing and everything at the same time. What do you want? To make a name for myself and see where it takes me. An ambitions man. Welcome to Motherrun. I know you'll enjoy your stay. Wonder if I can say... Yeah, there could be a no-win scenario, but I don't think so. You need Starbucks to put Serenas on the throne. I won't stand in your way. Oh. Then we have a deal, apparently. I'm going to make another safety save here. I'm sorry for making you guys go through all this, but I will probably go with that one, but I just wanted to see what happens if I pick the other option. Because I'm very curious. I want to see, maybe that lowers... maybe that makes winning that slightly easier. So, let's see. But, yeah. Etiquette, that's why I traveled that fast. Only one way to stand out, so to lose my life. Support is very important. See my power. Make a name for myself. Nothing but a puppet. You need Strabus to put Serenas on the throne. Expected to honor the terms of the agreement. Such a pity to tell Strabus, I'll think about it. Okay. Okay. Then yeah, we'll go with that just to have her on our side. I'm happy with that. I mean, my word of honor is not really that important to me, and I only have 1 point in it. I could live with having 0 and getting more points with the conversion by betraying her and pretty much telling her like, oh no, sure you'll have my support, and then just go back on it and be like, yeah. So yeah, let's go with that. How do I... Ah, here. Go outside. Thank you. Then we are going to the commercium and report to Strabus that we have gotten him his votes. Saving here though. Let's call it trading. Hello, Strabus.
What do you have for me, Savarius?
About the conspirators.
Whom did you get on board?
Legatus Pavallo, Lady Lorenza Calani, and Lord Senna.
All 3? Not bad for a farm boy. I'm impressed. Unfortunately, we have bigger problems now.
Bigger problems?
The fucking boatman. After the stunt that Nilos pulled, Darissa took the local chapter straight to Gallius. They are working for him now, propping up his regime 1 corpse at a time. Someone must have talked as they paid me a visit while you were making the rounds. They wanted names. I gave them yours.
My name? What do you have to do with all this? Let's not say that. Does it mean Gallius knows?
If he knew, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. If he doesn't, yet. But with the boatman on it, it's only a matter of time.
How did the boatman find out?
It's their job now, and apparently they're better at it than I thought. Well, you didn't think it was going to be easy, did you?
Who is Darista?
Darista loans the local boatman chapter. She's something of a cunt.
I like you, Strabus. You're really nice. But what else can you expect from a woman who prefers killing to raising children? She did the mercenary work for years. Joining the boatmen was her way of settling down. My name? What do I have to do with all this? You're working for me, aren't you, you fucking shit? That's what you have to do with it. God's help Linus if I found out that you fucked me and set me an idiot. Who was asking questions? Hamza, who else? Sorry, I keep forgetting that you just arrived. Darius says she's the brains. The boatmen follow her because she knows how to use her head. Business has been good ever since she took over, and that's what counts. So, she brings in contracts and old Hamza makes sure that they're carried out to the client's satisfaction. You can say that Darius runs the guild and Hamza manages the manpower. Can he be bought? Any useful vices? You're full of ideas, aren't you, boy? If I could buy him, why would I need you? Hamza is a straight edge. He'll never go against the guild. Because I have high intelligence. Unless he thinks that he's saving it. You really think you're that good, Savarius? If Hamza doesn't like what you have to say, it will be a very short conversation. You realize that, don't you? I'll be fine. What's your plan? I told the boatman that I'll let them know where they can find you, and that's exactly what I will do. But only when you're good and ready. Sure that someone with your skills would be able to run circles around the boatman, but if my confidence is misplaced, beg Pavola to give you some of his men. Don't the guards have some kind of grudge against the boatman? You use one of our houses for this purpose. You'll have all the privacy you need, and should things turn bloody, the servants are well trained and well paid to keep their mouths shut. So we use the boatmen to keep the guards in check, and the guards to keep the boatmen in check. Do we have any real allies? Real? You mean permanent? Nothing is permanent in this world, Savarius. Things change, goals change, people change. Yesterday's ally is today's bitter rival. Carinus was a fanatic. Pavola is a reasonable man without any illusions of grandeur. Why shouldn't we work with him? It's not much of a plan. You expect me to do your job for you? I'm giving you the boatman on a silver platter. Strabus gives you a critical look and sighs. If everything fails, at least buy us some time. Send on us a wild goose chase. I'll need a name. Lord Marcellus. I never liked him, and I'm pretty sure the feeling is mutual. Might as well kill two birds with one stone. Alright, let's look at the quests. Set up a meeting. About assassins. Are you ready to deal with them? I just want to see the dialogue. I'll make the arrangement, wait for the boatman at the villa. Because maybe I already have enough persuade to make Hamza do what I want. Are you ready? Yes. Old Hamza was a man of few words. He never had much use for them in his line of work. You get a job done, you get it done, you get paid. If you do a good job, there will be more jobs. What's there to talk about? Hamza joined the boatmen when he was 14, when things were simple. These days everything was changing too fast and it didn't sit well with him. The boatmen never bowed down to anybody, and that was a good thing. Made Hamza proud. These days the business was good, but the guild was practically eating out of Gallius' hands, and Hamza wasn't sure he liked where this was going. Savarius, says Hamza, his voice hoarse and low. You hear nothing but regret in his voice, regret that things have gone far enough to require his involvement. Tell me what I need to know and I'll give you a warrior's death, fast and clean, says Hamza, skipping the pleasantries. May not seem like a good deal right now, but trust me, it is. I've heard about you, Hamza. I'm surprised to see a man of your reputation doing Gallius' bidding. Is his case that righteous? I serve the guild, not Gallius. Streetwise? Failure. Persuade? Darista is our guildmaster. So far she steered us right. Persuasion plus streetwise. So did Nilas, and then he steered his men wrong and they all died fighting in Tida's war.
And what do you expect me to do about it?
Snaps Hamza. To serve your guild. Well, there's still a guild to serve. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Persuasion. Gallius won't let you stay independent for long. Soon, very soon, you'll be forced to make a choice. If I were you, I would make it on your own terms. Hamza nods to himself and looks away. Darista won't like it. Persuasion plus charisma. She's a mercenary. It's all about money to her. If she lives, the guild dies. If she dies...
Do what needs to be done here,
says Hamza suddenly as if speaking to himself.
We're done here. Get out.
Oh yeah. Now Strabus can't possibly be unhappy with me. I mean, that has to be the best outcome. Just be like, why don't you do what I want? So, we're going to report this to Strabus, and then I will have a dinner break. Assassin sold. Hello, Strabus.
You're alive!
Proclaims Strabus.
What of Hamza?
He's been dealt with.
You've done well, Savarius. Go rest. We'll have a big day tomorrow.
You don't seem worried. Charisma success.
Of course I'm worried. 100 things can go wrong and some of them will. But as long as we can handle them.
I'm still surprised it's this easy to kill a man like Gallius.
Because you're looking at it the wrong way. You see a mighty lord surrounded by guards and loyal servants. I see a man surrounded by countless people who can be turned against him at any moment. Frankly, I don't know how he manages to sleep. Our lord's court is filled with people who have certain expectations. One wants to be elevated. The other wants power, or money, or someone's estate. You can't please everyone. At best, you can make strong allies and weak enemies. But that's not how it works most of the time. You elevate one man, you spurn a dozen.
No lord is safe then.
No man's safe, especially these days. A lord, of course, has more options than most, but experiences them, but exercising them takes guts. Gallius should have killed Serenus, Lorenza, and everyone else who sided against him. Of course, these are what they call unpopular measures. But being popular is of little comfort once you're dead.
Rest until morning. Actually, I am going to call it quits before dinner town there. Because I think this is a good breaking point. So, I will stop the stream now and return after dinner. I'll probably be half an hour to an hour. And until then, I hope you guys have fun. I'll post again when I start streaming. And this will be going on YouTube later. Toodles, guys!